So, if you saw Whitney Cummings on New Year's, she did that CNN thing, her famous CNN thing, where she brought up some conspiracy theories. Remember this? And everyone thought she was so based because she dared to bring up these. And Whitney didn't know. These are just like jerk-off stories that Whitney's heard 10th hand. So she rambles about, what did she say? Yeah, something about Epstein or some shit on that CNN New Year's, Jules? Epstein, like what were the topics she brought up on that CNN New Year's?
Well, I think we have it.
Oh, we have it. Oh, yeah, let's play that. Pre-New Year's video? Is this
I think you want the set is what you're looking for. Oh, the set.
Yeah. Okay, look at this. And I'm sure you've seen it, but it's rather crazy what's been going on, and I think we've kind of put two and two together, and we're seeing why Whitney is reaching out to this other side. And it definitely has to do with Chris Cole, who we haven't yet talked about on this show. Chris Cole is Whitney's new boyfriend. He is a famous skateboarder, and he's been accused of domestic violence by his wife, who shares all these stories, these horrific tales of him terrorizing her. And Whitney Cummings seems to have, from what I heard in this Too Lazy to Try video, she's coming after the ex-wife, telling her to shut her mouth, zip it.
The best video about this is called... I'll find it for you, but this one guy made an amazing video about this.
Yeah, there's like a video that follows this whole thing because it's pretty crazy. It's pretty involved now.
Gifted
with Whitney
hater.
And this Chris Cole. So... here's Whitney's New Year's thing, which, of course, you all know. But I just wanted to hear what her bits were again. I wanted to see, because she accidentally kind of got herself into this and then took full advantage when she saw the opportunity arise and is now kind of put herself in this hole that didn't end up really working out. It kind of just made her life more annoying and took her credibility down a few notches, especially with me, Whitney, because now we have a Whitney problem. I didn't consider you a bad faith person. Now I kind of do. You know, I thought you were cringe. You know, you did all those pop-outs. Remember when she would pop out of a tree and go, Redbar's watching? And she made a video for us. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. We thought it was cute.
I assumed, no, at the end of the day, she saves horses. She's probably would do the right thing at the very end of the day, when it counts. But now, no, I've seen with my own eyes. And I just can't believe you're doing this. So, yes, your credibility with me is gone. I actually find this to be a giant issue, Whitney, and I actually, I can't believe you're doing this. Not this, though. Not this. But watch this. This is New Year's.
From the street. Are you sure? I think she's cursing.
Well, no doubt. And how is Junior?
Junior's doing
Let's see what she did that was so based.
Baby myself.
How old?
A year old.
Wow.
It's as loud as it
I'm
gets.
finally back. I did carry my own child. Television just doesn't pay what it used to, so had to carry my own kid. It was pretty humbling.
What are you most excited for?
I'm touring all over for all of 2025.
Wow.
Very
Do you like
I
being on the road?
touring. It's the best. I love going around the country because you see that Americans really are more reasonable than they would be portrayed.
Absolutely.
They're pretty great, and I'm playing bigger and bigger venues now. I thought being a mom would mean that less people would want to come see me. I'm now playing, like 3,000 seat theaters,
awesome.
Which is about the viewership of
Look at her
CNN these
ears.
days.
Well,
Not
nice.
this show, though.
Nice.
All eyes are
I mean, really, that's like a fucking demon. This is a demon. Look at this profile here. Look at that ear. That doesn't even look like Whitney here. This could be a clone. That does not look like Whitney at all. I swear,
her
Whitney has a
robot.
tiny chin. What's going on here? Or is somebody filming their TV set, and this is what I'm seeing, and they have an old CRT? You know, what is the idea behind this? Okay, I just want to hear one of her conspiracies so
Where are
I
you
can...
going to be toasting New Year's?
I think I'm just gonna, after what I'm about to do, I think I'll probably be like in a huddle with a bunch of lawyers or something.
Okay.
So I don't have big plans for after this.
Well, this was the year that we learned that roasts probably shouldn't happen at important live events. Whitney Cummings, it is time for you to roast the year. Let's hear it.
Feel free to heckle me. Feel free to come for me.
I didn't even know this is how it started like this. They set her up to do a roast of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this, Heather. I mean, they look very similar, him and Whitney. I mean, look at that. That's very similar to what we were just looking at with Whitney. Look at that. You know, no wonder Joe Rogan thinks you guys are going to take over the world. It's right there on your face. I didn't look at you hard enough there. Now I get it. Now I get it. They must be stopped. Okay, so let's hear Whitney's big based joke that got her this whole new life. She's a whole new person now. She picked up a whole new lifestyle. She swapped. Look at this.
I do believe we need to hold 2024 accountable for its behavior. That is what white women do now. We point out other things that are toxic because we don't get irony. And that is our truth. This was the year that people were behaving so poorly, we started being wistful about murderers. Remember, this was the year we were like, were the Menendez brothers so bad? Were we too hard on the Menendez?
So somebody just asks you and you'll perform for two men standing there? Like a jackass?
It's tripping me
I
out
mean,
how
really.
fine she is with doing this in front of them while they're just
They're like this.
standing there.
And you're doing full on stage mode? Boomer? I mean, really?
I mean, she's a professional.
She's good.
This was the year we were
That's
about
cool.
poorly.
This is a cool set. When I watch this, I'm like, damn, she's cool. Damn, that's cool. I can't believe she does this. And look, it's like, yeah, they weren't wincing because of the content. They started making these faces long before you said anything based. You went into this routine and just your arm movements were enough for them to go. But now they clip this and they're like, look how disturbed they were because Whitney exposed the truth on TV. No, I have proof right here. They were disturbed the second she started pretending to be a stand-up comedian on a big stage. It's very awkward. Imagine if someone started doing their routine to you like this. Okay, well, first I gotta tell. And it's a loudmouth nut psycho. Yeah, you're gonna make a face.
The year. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Heckle me. Feel free to come for me.
Never.
I do believe we need to hold 2024 accountable for its behavior. That is what white women do now. We point out other things that are toxic because we don't get irony. And that is our truth. This was the year that people were behaving so poorly, we started being wistful about murderers. Remember, this was the year
Which
we were
one?
like, were the Menendez brothers so bad? Were we too hard on the Menendez brothers? This was the year
They're
we
like,
did not-
okay, roast the year, and that's what you picked out. You know, you're going to mention about 5 things, and you're going to do Menendez brothers. What did you want? To them, they're not thinking about Menendez brothers. It was a two-day thing on the internet in a very select group. We weren't all in the Menendez brothers in 2024. Sorry.
You wish.
Only a fool got roped back into that tragedy. Only a fool. It's like the fools who got suckered back into reliving the OJ trial. Cuckoo! Cuckoo! Why would you want to do that again?
Or
You haven't had enough
everybody
OJ.
watching and talking about the Gabby Petito documentary that
Oh,
just came out.
yeah.
It's like we just
finished
found out
that.
every fact about
We found
Gabby
it all
Petito.
out. It's and why would we want to relive
And now
that?
you're just
That would
watching
be
it
like
again?
the submarine. Imagine having another round of the sub. You know, they're already relitigating the dress. Did you know this? Yep, on H3 only. Ethan Klein did an hour-long segment on the dress. Is it white and gold or blue and black? And they did it as if it was the first time ever happening. They got suckered in. It's like when somebody brings up 9/11 and there's a New Yorker in the room. Watch out. It's going to be remembrance time.
The dress is everybody's 9/11.
I watched those planes hit the tower the other day by accident in somebody's little edit. It was fucking epic. I wish I was there shooting film. I wish it could happen again so I could get some shots on film. which is back, by the way, and almost gone. Almost back gone. So stay away. All right, let's hear one more bass joke.
Done anything
Oh, she hasn't done it.
She hasn't even done anything based yet.
No.
Became our favorite celebrity because murdering your mom is so brat. They had her on a red carpet, a little on the nose for a murder.
You've never heard Brat. I don't like people. You don't do a Brat joke unless you know the album front to back. You don't talk about Brat. She doesn't know one damn song. She hates music. She hates music. Whitney Cummings thinks music is like an irritant.
She listens to like loud electrical pulses to relax.
Yeah. She's the kind of person who thinks music is a waste of time.
She puts on those things that simulate childbirth.
Yeah,
to go to bed
she probably
and
does.
chill.
Right on her big fucking nipples. She's sick. She's twisted. And by the way, I thought it was no men in women's sports. Hello? Your rules. You know, you're freakier than Robin Tran. Way freakier than Robin Tran. You know, that's coming from me. That's how you know you could trust something like that. Here.
But she was like posing in a fancy dress. We were like, slay. And she was like, I did. And of course, our heartthrob of the year was the alleged cold-blooded killer named Luigi, who is now in the same prison as Diddy, which I'm very upset about because Luigi already has a lower back issue. This was the year nothing made sense. Fertility was down, sales of baby oil was up, white supremacy groups reached record highs. It got so bad, Ariana Grande became white again.
You know, imagine her sitting there writing this like you're doing your homework. It always cringes me out when I think of a girl writing her YouTube video or stupid stand-up.
Why
just so
you
good.
should get a Tesla,
This is Whitney
or
over the
shouldn't
desk.
you?
Yes, this is gonna kill. Fucking loser. You wrote all this. Look at you. Have some agency. Fucking wimp loser. Look at you. You waiting in line like cattle for the audition?
So she barely even said anything base. I feel like
none
before
of
this
this
is the
base.
full set.
It's because they got a screenshot like Anderson Cooper hated. And it's like he thought Whitney was a ham. That's all that happened.
They're reacting the exact same way to all the other jokes that aren't based.
Yes. And there's been nothing based. There's been nothing that they disagree with. He's sickened by her. He knows she's a phony. And he doesn't have a second to spare to entertain this non. That's all.
2024 totally broke our brains. Half the people I know think we're in a simulation. I'm starting to wonder. When I go to a website and it asks me if I'm a
And
robot.
all of her conspiracy crap is so outdated. It's 8-9 years old. 8-9 years old. This is like Graham Hancock first, second appearance crap. You know, she's talking about stuff. She thinks this is like breaking news. Simulation theory, she thinks, is just kind of being discovered right now. And that we're all talking about that right now. This is like when I found out about the back room 8 years after it happened and told everyone as if I discovered it. This is what she's doing. Half the people I know think simulation theory is taking away our government. That's not what they're talking about. You know, I don't know where you get that. Did you watch like a best of Rogan psychedelic segment? You type that in and find that and you're like, got it. Okay, so these are the topics. Got it. You hot dog. I mean, look at you.
Do you remember the Lady Gaga?
Talk about Jeffree Star Yak Ranch. I mean, come on. That looks like your flavor. Hey, what are you wearing? Jeffree Star Yak Ranch dressing. You're disgusting inside and out. You're the ex-wife of your new boyfriend is on multiple podcasts talking about all this abuse, this terrible, terrible abuse.
Okay, we have to keep watching until she says something based, or the rest of the story won't make sense.
Yes, of course.
Or not, half the time I get the quiz wrong. I'm like, does the shadow of a bike count as a bike? I don't know. Why am I looking at a grainy photo of a crack house?
Not based.
We just all broke mentally this year. Things got so bleak. We started watching the WNBA. Was that what happened? And we also started watching older women in movies. Equality or insanity? You tell me. Demi Moore was in a movie called The Substance, showing that Hollywood's ready for a woman in her 50s to star in a movie as long as a hot 28-year-old wears a leotard for most of it. Pam Anderson's getting Oscar buzz for a movie she did wearing no makeup. Guys, that's not progress if you call it brave. Documentaries finally realized...
You know, I only think I saw supercuts of this. I didn't know you did all this crap. I thought you came up there and said, Epstein, and then just looked at them.
So you did nothing.
You did nothing. Oh, God, you are so psychedelic. I mean, like, so sick. I mean, really, this pixelation, this is why I say people should sue. I get really mad over these pixelated videos. Resolution is very important. I'll tell you why. Half of these people viewing these AI videos, you know how when you see an AI video, you go, it's so obviously fake, and you don't believe it? Well, half of these people have such low-resolution phones out there, low-resolution screens, and they're seeing this content that's been copied and copied and copied and copied till it's very hard to tell. No wonder they're believing all this AI. They're seeing everything like this. So it all looks real to them on their iPhone 4 or whatever Samsung thing they got at Costco. So yeah, no wonder. And people are believing it. All these Photoshops and AIs, all the people think it's real because it looks exactly... I mean, to us, if you're on the iPhone 16, you could tell.
I mean, this looks like ChatGPT 1, the first day we were able to make a picture.
I mean, if I showed you this and said AI or real, you would go, obviously AI. No, you would go, it's real because AI isn't that bad. AI wouldn't do something that bad, so I'm guessing real. That's what you would say, but that's one of those, like, hot shot guesses. Let's be real. If you really had to... Well, you'd probably still think it was real because ChatGPT couldn't do such a horrible job. It's too smudgy and everything. ChatGPT would be clear. Yeah. But other than that, you're no different than I get a demon going through the cable in the AI underworld. You're horrific, and the things that you're doing now are horrific. Okay, I got to hear the bass, though.
Just make them about cheerleaders. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleader doc showed the girls being treated horribly, underpaid, crying. I thought I'd open a video on Hunter Biden's laptop.
Oh, there we go.
Bass.
Hunter Biden's laptop. She thinks, and look, he's still making the same face as he was making before. And that's the face of, this sucks. But they think it's because of the Hunter Biden's laptop. And look how proud of herself she is of knowing that term. You know, she thinks that it's like impressive that she knows about that story. She really does. She thinks that's like a cool thing that she found out. And she's, I get it. The laptop, if you asked her for details on this story, she wouldn't know anything about it. She would say, I don't know, didn't it have something to do with him having the nuke codes on a laptop? That's what she thinks. That's what she thinks. Okay, let's hear the
This
next.
is the year everyone hated the movie The Joker, but if you do love watching men descend into insanity, in a couple hours you get to watch Andy Cohen do the countdown. In 2024, some
He's
things left
cackling.
us, some came back. Sanity left us. Somehow crypto is back. Do you guys even know what crypto... No one thought the timing of crypto was fishy. As soon as women started making money, they were like, money's over. Money's over. I don't even know what crypto is. As far as I understand, it's just astrology for men. Like, I don't... 2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a
Crypto probably is so that women can't have money because they can't figure out the system. I could barely figure out crypto. How could a woman? So, yeah, wow, that's actually, she stumbled upon that one, or she probably heard that somewhere. Probably stole that from Chris Cole. But, yeah, I believe that, too. They're trying to take all the money. Like, Tate is pretty much probably made up this plan. You use cryptocurrency so that all money converts to cryptocurrency, and then the girls are left behind because they can't figure out the code or whatever you need to get in. You know?
Oh, no,
you couldn't figure out an online wallet. So,
no.
Right? It's not really a girl's business.
I can barely get a refund off eBay.
Exactly. I mean, most girls don't know where all the buttons are like we do on sites. Seriously. Yeah, looking through a site is more of a man's job. girls can see the homepage, they see featured, whatever the site is telling them to see, they see. Mm-hmm. But we can go further.
I do mostly stay on the For You page on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that a woman thing?
It's very, it's smart. All right, so this is her bass set.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there was much bass stuff in it.
Still rolling? Am I off?
Go for it.
Look,
Are you
we still rolling.
rolling?
Am I off? She says. We still rolling, or did they cut this? And really, this fooled like millions of people. I mean, this got so big on Twitter, and everyone was like, Whitney. And Whitney, her popularity, it rose through the roof. She was getting messages left and right about how thankful they are that she's so based. She was responding to like everybody.
Here, go to posts at manic tweeting.
Look at this.
In my note.
You're not going to believe this. So she really took advantage of this. She has this night. For some reason, it must have got clipped, and there was a narrative, thrown on Twitter, like CNN freaks out over Whitney Cummings. Truth-telling. And it was just, a lot of screenshots of his face, doing that look. So she became a hit sensation with the right. And here's this one. Whitney goes on manic. It's the pre-New Year's Eve video? Or
No, posts at manic
yeah.
tweeting.
Of course. So let's see. Are these all here?
You don't have to
In
read
this
them all.
one?
I just thought you could scroll through some of the
Yeah.
comments and see her new fans.
So she was tweeting all night, right? She was tweeting for the whole week after this. She wouldn't stop. She didn't want to, she had one on the line. She wanted to make sure she reels that thing in. This is her new life. And why does she need a new life? Why all of a sudden does Whitney need a new life? Could it be Chris Cole related? Oh, yes. Because what do men do when they've been accused of abuse? What do they usually do, huh? Where do they usually hide out?
The Russell Brand method.
The Russell Brand method, of course. You got to get over there quick because you're safe within them. We've seen Jelly Roll do that. Remember when Jelly Roll, I just have such a strong connection to comedians and their clubs. Yes, yes. Okay, why? So you could hide out from society amongst comedians? So, yeah, here's Whitney, and she's pandering nonstop, and she was replying to everybody. She's really hamming it up with people and like really blatantly pandering to them. Like people are like, you had me when you told Pamela Anderson she might as well drink a vat of Magic Johnson's blood many years ago. Okay, so this woman's complimenting her. You had me when you said that Pamela Anderson might as well drink a vat of Magic Johnson's blood. You said that years ago. It was great. She goes, ha ha. Why would you reply to that? Why you're going in and replying to everybody's compliments about you, going, let's keep you right here, too. That's really nice.
I was a big fan before. Glad others are seeing that now. Comedy is always about making people uncomfortable, and you didn't disappoint.
Yeah. So she's replying to all the people. She's going on these manic.
I never knew this lady was so based. I thought she was just a funny slut girl.
There you go. Yeah, so she was getting a lot. Let's see some of these. Going through her X account here. Here's a joke I cut out of the roast of 2024. The news lied all year saying crime was low. I brought some charts, but a guy ran off with them. Is this the joke?
Fuck, man.
Is that the joke? She's like saying the joke here?
I guess.
A joke I cut for the roast of 2024. And then she begins. The news lied all year, saying crime was low. I brought some charts, but a guy ran off with them. That's psychotic.
We do the next one, number 3 in that
psychotic.
list.
Look at this. She's tweeting this. She's trying to do all her best material, really trying to reach out, do number 3 in the list.
Yeah.
Look at it. These are so wacky. Look at this one. Another joke I cut for time. Kamala Harris went on the podcast Call Her Daddy. She should have called her actual daddy and asked for a better pick for her team to Photoshop a McDonald's hat onto. Anyone? Anybody? Jesus, Whitney. And what does this have? This has 21,000 likes. So they loved it. They thought it was great. And then they all get into a Kamala Harris discussion.
Another one, she says, another 2024 CNN joke I cut for time. Shania Twain's on the show tonight. Reminds me of this year's Paris Olympics theme. Man, I feel like a woman.
These are good. And are people appreciating these? Are they going, thank you, Whitney. Please, if you have any more based stuff in the vault, please let us know. We're dying for it. So... yeah, anything you got, Whitney. And that's how she was acting. She was throwing, okay, what else do I have that could be best? Oh, the moon landing. What are we doing, people? Do we have some of those videos?
Someone replies, Whitney, not gonna lie, I was not a huge fan, but your recent turn on podcasting and asking people conspiracy stuff is way ahead of the cultural curve. The stars are aligning for your career.
Whoa. The Daily Beast wrote an article as well. And the Daily Beast said, comedian's wild conspiracy theory filled roast shocks CNN host during New Year's Eve show. And then they used this picture. This guy couldn't be goofier. He wasn't paying attention to a word you were even saying. He was just going, ooh, spicy. This is not a shocked guy. But they all bought into this. They really bought into it. And they're like, wow, she really went on the news and she really destroyed these guys. Yeah, it's not what happened at all. So there's a lot of fanfare in celebrating this. And Whitney was eating it up. Again, she's digging through old file cabinets, pulling jokes out from 83. You know, she's got this files, all the jokes that she's ever written. Her whole space, moon landing, perfect, JFK, of course, JFK. You know, and she's unloading everything she's ever thought of conspiracy theory-wise over and over again, manically, tweeting for what seemed like weeks. Did we have any of those videos of her?
Yes, this is the one you want.
Yeah, send that over.
I'm texting it to you.
Yeah, these are great. You'll see what I mean.
She posted
here.
many of this type, but this one is the best, I think.
This is a great video, yeah. Here we go.
Your own research, huh? With your DuckDuckGo and your Rumble and your 8chan. I'm out here in the LA fires.
You know, she goes through these things. She goes through almost like Kanye manic, like little things. You know, once every year or so, or maybe a couple years, I don't know. She does have like a public manic thing. Remember, she had one years ago when she was doing all the horses stuff. Remember that? Manically trying to help the horses. Was that also fire related? It had to be. I mean, what else are you saving them from? So here she is, and when she's outside, watch out, folks. When she's outside, you know, this is a very kooky lady in the neighborhood. Hooray! Hi! She's shouting in the morning. People are trying to walk and enjoy a peaceful morning. Look at this.
You guys are out there doing your own research, huh? With your DuckDuckGo and your Rumble and your 8chan. I'm out here in the LA fires trying to figure out which way the crows are flying, because they know. Okay, so that crow's flying this way. Fire's that way. Walking toward this fire. I'm not impressed with y'all's info. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not impressed with Twitter's info. I'm not impressed with these apps. I'm out here asking the crows what they think. So hawks are slightly different.
I mean, Roseanne Jr., she's turning into Roseanne Jr. here. I don't know where. And it's so funny because you were the producer on the Roseanne reboot, The Connors, and you worked there after they fired Roseanne for her controversial Planet of the Apes black lady comments. And now you're like mini Roseanne, walking around screaming that the birds are flying away from the government fires. Listen to
I'm impressed with Twitter's info. I'm not impressed with these apps. I'm out here asking the crows what they think. So hawks are slightly different, right? So hawks will fly, I don't know if you can see them, toward a fire because they're looking for prey that's going to be displaced, right? So they're a little bit less reliable. You guys think that you don't trust the news. I'm out here on some I'm out here on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust anybody.
Oh, okay. There's one in
I
her
sent you
bedroom.
another one,
oh,
yes.
great. Yeah, I want to see that
You guys
one.
are out there doing your own research?
Oh, she gets spooky when she's out in nature, too. When she's been out in nature too long, she gets real spooky. Look at this. Oh, yeah, this is the one where she's in bed. Another text from a pal. Arson in LA. And also tunnels. Okay, so she heard about the tunnels. Let's hear what she has to say.
Another real dark text to you guys about the LA fires and what people are talking about that you're not seeing in the news. And let me just preface this by saying, I'm not defending LA. I've been trying to get out of here for years, but not everyone that lives here is some idiot that like gets their news from like Sunny Houston on the View or something. Like, we're here not because we like love it. It's just our parents didn't give us attention. Our dads didn't want us. We had to come to LA because this is where all the cameras were. This is where the attention was.
Yep, that's exactly right, Whitney. We hate LA. Yep. Say it again. Feels good, doesn't it? Tony Hinchcliffe, everybody. They all hate LA now, but when confronted, they'll say, what are you talking about? I love LA.
But now we can do this anywhere. Let me read you this text from a friend of mine who's super smart. Wednesday on, I'm not going to tell you where, just below my house, a homeless man poured gasoline down the sewer grate and lit it on fire. Homeless in LA is a very tricky thing. It's hard to figure out who's homeless and who's not because really rich people dress like they're homeless. It's just the brand of the...
And she's doing her material, so she's like reworked all of her material in these, bite-sized packages that these guys will eat up. So she goes with top conspiracy, goes to Google, top conspiracies 2024 or 2025. Got it. And then she makes these little vignettes for the people and then plays with them in the comments all day. Listen to the rest of this.
The clothes they're wearing is like the Olsen twins or whatever. So when you see a homeless person, it's very hard to tell, like, is that a bum? Is that a hobo? Or is that like a Nepo baby? And then 2 hours later, out of nowhere, with no burning embers near us, hard to prove that, running goes up. We watched it from our bedroom window. A little smoke, 5 minutes later, the whole hill is on fire. 10 minutes later, we're out of there. He says, I think someone is trying to encircle Los Angeles. A few people cashing in on insurance, but someone wants to burn this place to the ground and get the land or cover the tunnels.
The tunnels.
Ow. Hit my head. The tunnels. The tunnels, dog, really don't have time to take on LA tunnels, so I will.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, that shocks her that there'd be a tunnel.
All right, I'm going to read another real dark text.
Which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's what Whitney's been up to. And meanwhile, Chris Cole, their new boyfriend, his ex-wife has been saying some not too good things. Can I play the clip from her little retelling of what Whitney's boyfriend did?
Yes.
And Too Lazy Too Try also has a video on this where, and I remember in his video, he mentioned that Whitney went after the ex-wife.
Yes, do you
tried
want
to get her to take that down. Yes, show me all this stuff. We've been meaning to show this, and we almost have to show this like as an official archive, just because it's a big part of Whitney's big new life here. And, of course, Whitney Cummings has come up on the show for many, many years, and I'm sure she'll be coming up for many years to come. So this knowledge is greatly needed in order to understand what Whitney has become and what we're about to see from Whitney in the future. All right, I'm going here, and I'm lighting this up. Where should I go? Chris Cole allegations. What do you think?
Go to Chris Cole allegations, and then I feel like you should just recap her allegations and not make everyone listen to a bunch of allegations.
No, we have to. You have to hear it from her. I can't recap. That's how you get sued.
Okay.
No, we definitely have to hear it from her. These are so good. She tells the whole story.
Okay, we'll go to the first one.
Yeah.
And I think she starts talking about it right off the bat.
Great. July 10th, 2024.
And he started yelling at me.
Okay, yeah.
He pushed me on the ground and just started choking me. He pinned my legs down and he just started choking me and
Okay, so
banging
this is Whitney's new boyfriend, Chris Cole, that she's talking about. Whitney is going to bat for Chris Cole. He says these are all lies. She's saying they're choking, throwing to the ground. You know, it's making this guy sick.
He started yelling at me and pushed me on the ground and just started choking me. He pinned my legs down and he just started choking me and banging my head against the ground in the garage. And like part of me just couldn't understand what was happening. But then like it just felt more and more pressure on my neck. So I tried to grab his groin, but I couldn't, it just didn't work. I just had all of this like self-defense stuff going through my mind from probably from podcasts that I listened to. And that didn't work. So I tried to scratch at his eyes just instinctually. I cannot even remember why that was what I decided to do.
Scratch at his eyes.
But I was losing air, so
Very nice.
I had to do something. And in my mind, I thought, if
losing
I could get
air
DNA under my nails, at least someone would know what had happened.
So, regardless of whether these things are true or not, Whitney Cummings is dating a guy whose ex-wife, the mother of his kids, is saying that this happened. That would be scary, at the very least. Whitney, aren't you scared? You hear this lady, she's going on and on about all these terrible things. Surely you must see it in his eyes. Aren't you scared? There's a little angle there for you, Whitney. If you don't want to go, if you think this behavior is okay, that's one thing. But aren't you so scared? Or are you taller than him? Maybe you're taller than him. I don't know. But I'd be scared. And there will be probably an incident where Whitney is... But she's going to love that day. She probably wants that to happen to her. Be a big, exciting story for her. I was thrown down the stairs. I was verbally abused. Yup. You can't wait. It must be you can't wait. Right? You want some garage? Some stuff to happen in the garage, huh?
So he let go.
That's Cole's spot.
And I didn't know this
allegedly
until recently,
from her.
He let go because my daughter had walked in and saw what was happening. And she said, Dad, stop. And he yelled at her to go back upstairs.
Being temporarily.
I didn't hear what he was saying, but he had told the police... And I found out later that he had told the police that I just attacked him out of nowhere, and that's why he had scratches on his face.
Anyways, there's a lot of back and forth about this. But I think that you should show this 10-year-old at the windshield smashing.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's her new allegation after the divorce.
Okay. So here she is on the podcast. She's this one here.
Yes, and this is from 10 years ago when they were still married.
Oh, this is from when they were still married. Okay, so this is before the divorce. This is before the allegations. But it's just a story she told 10 years ago while she was dating Whitney's. I think they're engaged. Are they not engaged? Mm-hmm. Engaged to be married, hopefully. Whitney Cummings and Chris Cole.
Go to 618.
This is what she said about him. And remember, this is while they were married. They weren't fighting about anything. So there was no abuse allegations. She just happens to tell this story thinking that it was a nice story to tell. But now you go back, you go, uh-oh, listen to this.
What he might go through at deep late that night when he takes out all his Hulk smash aggressions.
South Park.
No, but you mentioned Hulk smash, and he can get... He's not. I'm gonna disclaimer. He is not abusive at all. Yeah. He really.
No,
isn't.
that's not what we're. Are we trying
before
to
the abuse?
You'll see.
No, we were just asking who had a bigger penis.
I'm prefacing. Well, you mentioned Hulk smash.
Yeah.
And Mikey coined a term for one of Chris's and my arguments as Hulk smash.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's really? That's.
Or he calls it Cole smash, right?
Yeah.
No. But it's Hulk smash.
This is his favorite story ever.
Yeah.
He tells it as if Mike was there. Which everyone was asking the other night, were you there? He's like, no, but I'm totally envisioning it, so I feel like I was. He's like, okay, go on.
So, as skater girlfriends and wives, we're often said, oh, you don't let the skater skate enough, or that's always, put upon us.
Yeah,
but it's not
interfering somehow.
Yeah, and it's not true. We're just kind of maneuvering and not being taken advantage of at the same time. So Chris wanted to go out and skate, but we had plans, and I was like, well, fuck. And he kind of just sprung it on me. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to go skate. I'm like, well, we had plans, and it was just, you know, if you're going to go skate, like, just be courteous and just say, hey, can I go skate? Like, is that okay with you? And, like, let's figure this out. Like, is there a time?
TMI.
I don't know. Whatever. So I got super pissed, TMI. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm leaving. Like you have the kids, and I left and went in the car. Like, you're not skating now. Fuck you, because he wasn't like, responding in a way that I thought he should. So I left and went in the car, and I was gonna try and pull out of the garage, but the garage took way too long. So he came in, and he was just like, and smashed the hood of my car, like as hard as he could. And I had these two huge dents in my.
So even hella Mark Harley only shook a car. He smashed his fist down on the car, wouldn't let her leave. And you're telling this story as if this is a really funny story about your relationship with your husband. Your kids are inside, and he's screaming and grabbing the car.
Hood of my car, like as hard as he could, and I had these two huge dents in my green
Two huge
car.
dents.
And so he says he walks away, and it didn't relieve as much pressure as he wanted it to. So he sees a bike pump, and he just picks it up and just hurls it at the car, and it just shatters the windshield. And at first, like as he's walking away, I'm like, well, now he's gonna have to fix it. And I'm just like super pissed. And
look at this guy's face right here. Surely he knows that's crazy, right?
I mean, how?
Excellent.
No throwing things or smashing things
so he
ever.
Smashed up a car. He threw a bike pump at the car after, because he said smashing the car and putting two giant dents in it wasn't enough to get his aggression out. So the bike pump came. Anything after the bike pump?
First, like as he's walking away, I'm like, well, now he's gonna have to fix it. And I'm just like super pissed and like just girly and bitchy about it. And then he throws the bike pump, and it just shatters my windshield. And I was like,
I like to imagine him doing like a really good, like if you were doing like axe throwing seriously, like he's like, you know, and he's like very coordinated with all these moves. He's a skateboarder.
God, like that was so close to just shattering my face. Like, oh my God, this is crazy.
So
like,
close to shattering my skin.
He says he turned around at like before it even hit the windshield. He just called like a windshield repair person. I just
clutch
my windshield. I need you to come tomorrow.
He came in clutch with that windshield repair.
Also, I think it's freaky that she kind of looks like Whitney.
She kind of does look like Whitney C. When you zoom in.
So he's just looking for round 2.
Wow.
We have to save her.
Well, Whitney, I'm trying to save you here, but you keep telling the world all these horror stories.
That's Hulk smash. So he can get pretty angry.
Hulk smashed the hood. That is good.
Yeah.
In Chicago,
Hulk smashed the hood. That is good.
Is it cool?
Hulk smashed the hood. That is good.
Can we look into this guy?
I know, like Hulk smashed the hood and scare you. That is good. Look at this. I've never seen anything like this.
Hulk smash. So he can get pretty angry.
Hulk smashed the hood. That is good.
Yeah.
In Chicago, I like went up to him and I was like, "Hey, is it cool if we interview Red on the show? Like, is everything cool?
Yeah.
Like, can I ask?" He was like, he gave me like the blessing. You know, so
yeah.
He's the man.
I didn't want to get brink smashed.
You didn't want to get. Wait, you actually said that? I was going to say that as a joke. I didn't want to get a bike pump thrown at me, so. You know, he's fine. And then you really said that.
The blessing, you know, so.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get brink smashed.
Which is his name.
Shirt's gotten like.
Wow, so this guy's going around, he's just threatening everybody. Wow, Whitney, you should be very scared. I mean, aren't you scared when you're sound asleep?
Okay, the last best video for this saga is Whitney calling his ex.
Wow.
So if you want more info on this, you got to watch this Gifted Hater.
Yeah, watch this video. Gifted Hater. This is 239K whopperoos.
But Whitney has been defending him like crazy in just like the comments and on Twitter.
Oh,
everywhere.
really? She's even in the comments. Chris Cole Investigation, and this is by Gifted Hater on YouTube. What's our time code here?
This one is 3215.
3215. All right. And this is about Whitney. So this is part of Gifted Haters investigation. And there's some good stuff out there about this, but it's not really picking up any traction. No one seems to really care about stuff like this anymore.
Surprisingly, Whitney's involvement in this ordeal actually does not end there. She also attempted to call Wyatt, Chris and Christine's son, and followed him on Instagram. Christine thought that that was quite inappropriate, and that culminated in a phone call between Whitney and Christine. Here are some of the highlights of that exchange.
I am recording this just to be clear.
Oh my God.
Why not go to court?
Oh my God. So Whitney's on the phone. Look at this. So here's the woman who's been accusing Chris Cole of all this abuse, and Whitney is calling her, and the woman's recording it. Look at this.
Of that exchange.
I am recording this just to be clear.
Okay. Why not go to court and leave the children out of this? You know this is child abuse, right?
Whitney accuses...
Why not go to court and leave the children out of this? You know this is child abuse, right?
And Whitney's saying this because Christine's son stuck up for her and said, my dad abused my mom.
Wow. So the son is saying this happened, and Whitney's saying this is child abuse. How is it child abuse?
And also the kid isn't he like 18?
Yeah. Okay, let's hear this again. This is great stuff. And then I got to take another 9.
Here are some of the highlights of that exchange.
I am recording this just to be clear.
Okay. Why not go to court and leave the children out of this? You know this is child abuse, right?
Whitney accuses Christine of child abuse for involving the children. I believe she's referring to Wyatt, who defended his own mother on Instagram for people who were calling Christine a liar. Wyatt claims he had seen physical violence firsthand. To me, that seems like a more fitting definition of child abuse, that the kids had to be, you know, witness to alleged violence between their parents, rather than Wyatt, you know, a legal adult making a post to Instagram. These alleged violent acts taking place in front of children, in Whitney's mind, do not constitute child abuse. But then telling people after about this alleged abuse, that does count as child abuse.
I'm asking you not to call my children.
Okay, you can keep asking that as much as you want.
That sounds like saying she has no intention of stopping. In my opinion, the correct response to this request would have been, okay, I'll stop. What kind of
investigation is it?
Considering it's fucking weird that she's even trying to do it in the first place, and they also evidently do not want to be contacted by Whitney.
What are your goals for this? What is your plan? You want him to kill himself?
What's your goal?
Listen to that. He's going to repeat it, but listen to that. That's a good one.
Contacted by Whitney.
What are your goals for this? What is your plan? You want him to kill himself?
What's your goal with all of this? To get Chris to kill himself? Which is, to me, an alarming statement. Whitney is insinuating that by exposing her ex-husband's alleged violent and abusive behavior, she is actually jeopardizing Chris's safety because he might kill himself. Chris would not have had any concern for Christine's safety when he was allegedly choking or throwing suitcases at her. Why would Christine cover for him? That's completely ridiculous. Nobody would do this in their own personal lives. You know, nobody would cover for somebody that was allegedly being violent. You know, this is a rudimentary, basic, stupid tactic to try and dodge accountability. You can't get out of responsibility for something you've done by threatening to kill yourself. This is a literal meme in the Internet Hall of Fame.
That's that Brian Callen style, huh? We learned that today. That's what these guys are doing now. What do they call it? We got to come up with a nice term for that. That should be a term. I think a lot of men in LA use this method. You know, I'm gonna
Zach
kill
Bryan. I think
Zach Bryan does that all the time. So you got Brian Callen, Zach Bryan. These are these men. You could picture them crying, can't you? You could picture them sobbing, begging. Right? As pathetic as it gets.
Bitch think getting pregnant is gonna trap me.
Oh, hey.
Bitch, I will kill myself.
Ironically, Whitney, the comedian, fails to see how ridiculous and funny a statement that is. Whitney literally goes from saying silence enables the pattern of abuse to texting Christine and asking for the situation to be resolved in private. I don't think you can get more hypocritical than that. Whitney also sent text to Christine saying things like they deserve to have a father. I agree with Whitney. However, if it so happened that Chris was not able to see his children, you know, because of what he had been accused of, that blame would fall squarely on Chris. It would not be Christine's fault.
So Whitney's basically like, we don't really want to have time for this headache. So if you can just stop Because then, like, okay, imagine your kids. Like, they need a father, so just zip it closed, okay? God, such an inconvenience.
Holding Chris accountable for the alleged violence. It would be Chris's fault for perpetrating that alleged abuse. There's no getting around that. And if in fact that is not true, then Chris should be suing Christine for defamation. And by the way, I am not advocating, for Chris not being able to see his children as an outcome or a result, but I strongly disagree with Whitney's, interpretation of the situation. We covered Whitney's involvement. Now let's discuss Jason Ellis. A lot of you guys.
Oh boy, okay, I can't get into that. But yes, please stay away from Jason Ellis. I don't know why people keep going near him. I mean, really, that guy scares me. Was that it for the Whitney?
I think so. I just wanted everybody to know about
put
this.
That up. There'll be more on that.
Because it's going to come to a head.
It's going to come to a head. I can't wait to see what happens. So we wanted to get everybody up to speed because there should be something
first, and then the based turn.
Yes. So Whitney's based turn. Okay, where she's now pivoting. Very suspicious timing there to come right there. Is she looking for a backup plan? She's seen it worked for Callan. She sees it works for these guys. So is she, just remember this time, 3 a.m. Is she trying to come up with a little backup plan for herself here in case this Chris Cole stuff gets nasty? And she's got Chris going on podcasts. She's putting him on Something's Burning. He was on there with Bert Kreischer. They're really trying to make him seem like a nice guy. And I'll tell you this, from the looks of him, he seems like a great guy. Every time I see him, he seems as nice as can be.
I disagree. He seems so scary to me.
He's terrifying. He's got a darkness. Talk about Chris Cole.
And I had a bunch of notes for this one podcast, but we don't have to do it. It's not that good. But she always has him on. Too Lazy to Try has a great video about this. She always has him on her podcast and interviews him.
Oh my God, that was good too.
And she's so annoying and always nagging him and stuff. And I'm always like, well, she's going to go crazy.
She's got the card, just like Zelensky didn't have. She's got the cards. He doesn't have any cards.
We're not playing cards.
Well, this is not the cards.
Can we go for a teeny little break?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more. Wait to see what we discovered. One of your favorites coming up next. You're not going to believe what we caught him doing. We'll see you soon on Red Bar. Don't go anywhere.
I'm borderline, it's getting late. I feel alive. I wanna show you why. I've got a birthmark on my mind. I think you like it. Push my spine, and just to show the tears of lies is on me. Alright, you wanna read my every line. I let striptease, opening me. Feels like a striptease. Sick for my tears and lost for my fears. I'm stripping my heart till my pain disappears. Opening me. Feels like a striptease. Watch me flow, lost in my striptease. I'm borderline, it's getting late. I feel alive. I wanna show you why. I've got a birthmark on my mind. I think you like it. Hush my spine.